Now to Susquehanna Valley News. In Lancaster County, students at Doe Run Elementary School in Manheim have the week off because of structural problems at their school. Engineers discovered cracks in the masonry last month, and on Friday the building was deemed unsafe and the students were evacuated. With the school closed on short notice, some parents are now scrambling to figure out childcare for the coming week.
It's hard.
And roughly 380 students attend Doe Run Elementary when classes resume next Monday. They'll be held at the former Manheim Central Middle School. In the meantime, there will be several meetings this week to keep parents updated on that situation. The first is at 8 tonight. That'll be at the new middle school. Another will be held on Thursday at 7, also at the new middle school. And then on Sunday, parents and students will be able to tour the old middle school where Doe Run classes will be held starting the next day. Open house runs from 2 to 4 in the afternoon.
I'm Jerry Gish.
And I'm Lori Burkholder. Good to have you here with us. Let's get to your forecast with meteorologist Christine Ferreira. Looking like on a soggy day today, isn't it?
Yeah, a little bit soggy. We had some rain overnight. Now most of that has moved away. We'll get a bit of a break with more rain coming back this evening.
Latest on Ebola in America. Today, family and friends of the Liberian man who died of Ebola in Dallas can finally go out into the public. Their 21-day incubation period is now over. Our Washington reporter Aitza Diaz joins us live now this morning. Aitza, as of yesterday, everyone was symptom-free? And 4 Lancaster County students are recovering this morning after an accident involving their school bus. The Pequea Valley School District bus was carrying the special needs children and a personal aide when it was hit by a dump truck Monday morning at Route 741 in South Vintage Road in Paradise Township. That bus flipped onto its side and several passerbys rushed in to help. The students were taken to the hospital where 3 were treated and released, and 1 went to see his personal doctors in Hershey. Let's get to Commitment 2014 election coverage and debates today in 2 state House and Senate races. In York County, the candidates for the 28th District State Senate seat will face off. Democrat Linda Smalls challenging Republican incumbent Scott Wagner. That debate is set for 12:30 this afternoon. That'll be at the Yorktown Hotel. Meanwhile, in Cumberland County, there will also be a debate between the candidates for the 199th District State House seat. Republican Representative Stephen Bloom and Democratic challenger Jill Bertoli face off on several issues, including a redistricting plan that's set to take effect in December. That debate gets underway at 7 tonight at Dickinson College in Carlisle.
This is above average next week. Our average by next week should be right around 60 degrees.
Okay.
Very nice.
We're getting close to 70.
I like it.
It could happen.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you, Christine.
Thanks.
And schools will reopen this morning in the Poconos as the manhunt for suspected state trooper shooter Eric Freen continues on day 40 now. The FBI is combing through security footage from Pocono East High School near where Freen was allegedly seen Friday night and again Monday afternoon. Police are also working to confirm that it was Freen who recently broke into a concession stand near the football field and stole bottles of Gatorade before disappearing into the woods. Freen has been a fugitive since September 12th when police say he ambushed 2 state troopers at the Blooming Grove barracks, killing 1 and critically wounding the other. Let's get to the latest on Ebola in America. Going home. Yeah, the American photojournalist now Ebola-free and set to leave a Nebraska hospital. Meanwhile, starting today, passengers traveling to the U.S. from West Africa must land at one of the 5 airports with enhanced screenings. Let's go to our Washington reporter Aitza Diaz joining us live with this. Now, Aitza, this all comes as the new Ebola czar gets to work today.
That's right, Laura.
It is expected today on an investigation into the Secret Service. Government officials say it appears the agency pulled employees from their assignments near the White House and sent them to a Maryland home for one worker's personal problem with a neighbor. The agency says they are now reviewing those findings. And new details in the Ray Rice case. We could learn this week whether NFL Commissioner Roger Goodell will have to testify at Rice's appeal hearing. Rice was indefinitely suspended by the NFL after being involved in a domestic violence incident in the offseason. If his appeal of the suspension is granted, he could return to the NFL and be eligible to sign with the team. Rice was suspended after punching his then-fiancée in an Atlantic City hotel elevator.
Now, like the World Series, no superstition is too silly.
Oh, no. Now, for the duration of the series, 2 San Francisco radio stations, they're refusing to play.
I heard about this.
Yeah, Lord's song Royals. Of course, you know why. The hit single doesn't really reference the Kansas City baseball team, obviously, but that's not why she wrote it. But it is enough to keep the song off the air until the end of the World Series.
That's pretty funny. Yeah, I like that.
So in response, a radio station in Kansas City has made a pledge to play the song every hour from 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. today when the 2 teams face off in Game 1. So
that's fun. I like that kind of stuff. It is a fun thing. Yeah, it really is. And the whole Royals run is pretty fascinating. They've got a South Korean fan, by the way, that's flying in for the World Series.
Wow.
He's been, even though he's from South Korea, doesn't even speak very good English. He's been a Kansas City Royals fan for a couple decades.
Oh, they're going to do a story with that guy.
So, no, it's already gotten all kinds of attention.
Oh, I haven't seen it. Okay.
Well, up next, caught set free and then
Is closing 5 of its Pennsylvania stores, including 2 right here in the Susquehanna Valley. Locations in Lebanon and Chambersburg will be shut down in January. The company says it's part of an effort to reduce costs. It says 350 employees statewide will be affected by this. Those who are laid off will have a chance to apply for openings at other locations. There she is, Jerry. We're going to be watching her. Susquehanna Valley is being represented again on The Voice. This is Danica Sherry of Red Lion, York County. She sang Halo there. It's a Beyonce tune. This is the Battle Round competition. And we're happy to report that, oh, there's her mom, Pharrell chose Danica to go on to the next round. So, knockouts, here she comes.
all right, good for her. Congratulations.
It's 5:15, and now the latest on Ebola in America. The Centers for Disease Control has changed the way medical teams will deal with this in our country. The agency has announced all healthcare workers are required to undergo training on Ebola procedures. They say workers should not have their skin exposed, and they must be supervised when using the gear.
Guidelines we're releasing today are updated. They provide an increased margin of safety. They provide a consensus on better protecting healthcare workers.
And people being monitored for the virus after being in contact with Thomas Eric Duncan ended their 21 days in isolation on yet Monday. The 2 nurses battling Ebola are reportedly responding to treatments well.
Well, the U.S.-led air campaign continues over Kobani and now includes airdrops of supplies.
Yeah, this is all part of a stepped-up campaign to save the Syrian border town. NBC's Richard Engel has more. New information for pregnant women. There's research out that suggests exposure to traffic pollution during pregnancy can harm an unborn child's lungs. This study of over 1,200 expectant mothers found that risk appears to be greatest during the 2nd trimester. That's when the baby's lungs begin to mature. Now, weather on the 8th, and a look at that 7-day forecast. Christine Ferrer's got more on this coming up, but let's go check on your morning commute with Julie Gargata. Good morning, Julie.
Hi, good morning.
It's not in the way of snow, but
right.
as
I
wind.
heard that term last night, and when you hear that, it kind of makes you,
Nor'easter.
oh, man.
What's the word that you always said? What's the word you always
No.
What is Jerry? What's the word you always say?
Well, this is not a polar vortex.
Oh, there you go.
Not a polar vortex. That
Not
it is
cool.
not.
Not
But
cool.
it is a nor'easter, and some parts could really get hit with rain and wind.
Yeah, New England. I mean, nothing terrible, maybe up to 40 miles per hour, but not a very strong one. Still an unsettled weather pattern.
All right.
Now you just ticked off
I know, I
Christine.
did.
All right.
Oh,
Thank
thank you,
you.
Christine.
For our top story this morning, Pennsylvania Supreme Court Justice Seamus McCaffrey has been temporarily suspended from the court in a majority decision made by his fellow justices.
Let's go to Ann Shannon, who's here in the studio with more on this. Ann.
Well, good morning to you, Lori and Jerry.
Continues.
Well, in Health News this morning, there's new information about women and heart attacks. New data shows women are more likely than men to suffer from anxiety and depression after a heart attack. Researchers say doctors should more carefully assess women for anxiety and depression in the months after heart attacks so they can begin treatments with medication or other therapy.
Well, midterm elections are just 2 weeks away now. Polls show Republicans could gain control of the Senate from Democrats.
Yeah, while ISIS terror threats add to the voter anxiety. NBC Tracy Potts has more from Washington.